Hi, thank you for coming to class today. We'll be doing a 60-minute restorative and yin practice. Before we start, just set up your mat. Having your mat, maybe a blanket for where your knees will be going during the practice. You can have different types of blocks. Some blocks, if you don't have any blocks, you can also just bring with you a stack of books, which will also serve the same purpose. Similarly, if you have a bolster, bring that with you, or a bunch of pillows. The ones that come off your sofa are great. And we might need a yoga strap. And if you don't have one of those, you can have a bathrobe strap with you today. So once you're ready, come onto your mat and set yourself up with either the books or the blocks. You can place one block underneath your bum. You can stack them, 2 of them, and then just bring your legs onto each side and take a seat on top. If this is too uncomfortable, you can also place a blanket on top of the block or a pillow, but we won't be sitting here too long. Coming here into your seated position, sit in a way that your sit bones are a bit more tucked in and that your back is elongated and your spine is straight. When you're in this position, it's not in an exaggerated way, that being that your chest is not popping out and your shoulders not being pushed out in an exaggerated fashion, but that you're respecting the normal curve of your back, but having a good posture. Here, slowly start to bring your attention to your breath. Inhaling slowly through your nose and exhaling slowly out of your mouth. You can close your eyes here, placing your hands on your thighs. Slowly inhale through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. We'll slowly start to rotate our shoulders backwards. So just bringing your shoulders towards your ears and then behind you. Loosening out our shoulders. Slowly start to move your shoulders towards the front, leaning your shoulders towards your ears and forward, warming up the shoulders. Slowly come back to neutral. Here, being mindful that your ears are just a little bit above your shoulders. We have a tendency to have our necks go and pop forward, so just come back to neutral here, bringing your ear a little over your shoulders, coming back into alignment. And then slowly bring your chin to your chest, feeling the stretch in the back of your neck, through the shoulder blades. Breathe into it. Here you can move your head a little slightly side to side, keeping your chin down and feeling the different parts of the back of your neck that are stretching. Moving a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Pulling the different parts of your neck. Slowly come back up, bringing your head back to neutral, repositioning so your ears are slightly over your shoulders. And then slowly start to tilt your head towards the right side, giving a stretch to the left side of your neck. Here, if you like, you can bring your right hand to your head and give an assist as you move your head slightly forward and back, feeling the different parts of your neck on the left side as you stretch here. You might be tilting your chin a little forward towards the corner and then lifting your chin up a little bit higher towards the ceiling, but not going towards the ceiling. And if you like, you can also bring your left hand behind your back. Here, just giving an extra stretch to your neck. In this position, don't feel that you're forcing your body, but just to come to an opening that you can sustain. Slowly breathe into this, inhaling through your nose, and then exhaling slowly out of your mouth. Continue to just explore the position, tilting your head forward and back, feeling the different parts of the stretch. Slowly bring your hand back to the front if it was behind you, and then release your head, coming back to neutral, repositioning your ears over your shoulders and seeing how that feels. Noticing the different sensation in both sides of your shoulder. And then slowly start to tilt your head towards the left side. You can bring up your left hand this time to give an assist, feeling the stretch on the right side. Exploring the position, tilting your head forward and back slightly, feeling the different parts of the right side neck being stretched. You can also bring your right hand behind your back. Closing your eyes if you like, focusing on the sensation, bringing your attention to your breath. Just gentle stretching here. You might tilt your head forward a little bit more, reaching the back of your neck a little bit on the right side. Stretch where is needed. Moving mindfully. Slowly bring your hand back to the front if your hand was behind you, and then release your head, moving your head back to neutral. You might want to rotate out your shoulders here. It might feel good. Moving freely forward and back. And then slowly here, we're going to do a position with our arms. So bringing our right arm up into the air. And then bring our left arm up into the air too. And bring our right arm underneath our left arm. So here, the right arm goes underneath the left arm. Here you can grab onto your hands. Or if you like, you can grab onto your shoulders. If your hands are in front of you, your vision might be blocked. You can close your eyes. Feeling the stretch in the back of your shoulders. You can bring your arms so they're about parallel to the ground, as you can see. Not tucking into your chest, but just lifting your arms slightly. Take a breath here. And then slowly exhale out of your mouth. Bring your arms back down. Maybe bring some movement again. Do what your body wants and needs. And then slowly bring your hands behind you here, grabbing onto your forearms, towards your elbows, feeling the stretch in the front. Here, rotate your shoulders so they are behind you. Maybe bring your gaze to the ground or close your eyes. Slowly release your arms, bring your hands forward, and then slowly lift yourself off your support that you had behind you here, placing your blocks onto the side, and then coming on here onto your feet. You might bring your knees about mat width apart. You might put a pillow underneath your bum or beneath your knees. If you have a blanket on your mat, place your knees on there. It feels good. And then slowly here, we're going to stretch forward our hands into a child's pose. Stretching our hands. Coming into an active child's pose here. Giving a nice stretch to our shoulders and upper back. Take a breath here. You can place your head on the ground, or if you like, you can place your head on a block or a pillow, even supporting your chest with a block or pillow right underneath on your rib cage. Give yourself the support to make this position comfortable. And then slowly here, start to walk your hands towards the left side. Moving over your left knee. Giving a stretch to the right side body. Here you can inch your fingers a little further away, activating this position a little bit more. Or if you like, you can bring a bend into your elbows and just bring your head down to the ground, coming into more of a passive stretch. Come into a position where you can breathe easy. If you feel here that you're not able to breathe properly, then just maybe don't go too far onto the left side, inching a little bit over towards the middle. Take a breath here. And then slowly start to walk your fingers towards the middle and then right over to the right side. It might be different on this side. You might go a little further or not as far over the right knee. Here you can come into more of a passive position, bringing a bend into your elbows. And slowly start to walk back your fingers to center. Coming back into the child's pose. Maybe here, just bending your elbows, coming into a passive position, bringing your head to the ground. Slowly pushing to your hands, coming into a tabletop position, coming onto your knees. here. Move freely. Maybe rounding your back, tucking your head, or curving your spine, bringing your head upwards, moving your body as needed here. Maybe moving your hips side to side, or even coming into a downward facing dog. Pushing into your hands and feet and bringing your hips into the air. Maybe pedaling out your feet if you're in a downward facing dog. And then slowly come back onto your knees. Here in the tabletop position, what we'll be doing is bringing our right foot through, bringing it forward, stepping onto our foot. And here you can bring your blocks with you for support, if you have some, or having some books or something to grab onto in front of you. And what we're going to do here is place a pillow underneath our left knee, or something soft, a blanket, and grabbing your block support system that you have in front. Ensure that your knee is right over your ankle. And here, start to push back and pull back your left leg. Here you can come on the balls of your feet and then bring your foot back, flattening your foot onto the ground. The tops of your feet are on the ground. Here in this position, you can stay here. Maybe even if you don't have any blocks, you can place your hand on your front leg and just stay here working on the balance as well. But the target here in this position is to bring a stretch to the inside of the left hip. So here, if you like, with your hands on your right thigh or on the blocks, elongate your spine, give some length, and also be mindful of your neck, that you're not sinking into the position. So you can roll back your shoulders and imagine that your head is being pulled towards the ceiling. So come into a position that you can sustain for a little bit. Breathe into your nose, and then slowly breathe out of your mouth. Here, if you start to feel a bit of an opening and you think this is going well, what you can also do here is reposition your blocks so that they're piled one on top of the other, maybe bringing a third block if needed. And what we'll be doing here, if you like, is lowering yourself down onto these blocks. So by doing this, you're also giving a stretch now to the right side, the right leg at the same time as the left, inner muscles of the hip. Otherwise, staying up is a great position. Breathe into the position that you're in. If you're having difficulty, be kind to yourself. Tell yourself that you're here and you're doing this, even though it is difficult. So we'll be holding this position for one more breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out of your mouth. If you're in the lower modification, start to come up, repositioning your blocks next to you, next to your front foot. And then here, start to hinge your left foot, coming onto your tippy toes. And then slowly walk your blocks or your hands on the ground here, coming back behind you. So here with my blocks, just walking behind and coming to lean onto your left foot. Here onto the left foot. If you like, you can directly sit onto your own leg. Or you can bring a block that you have with you and sit on that. And here, flex your right foot, bringing a stretch to the back of the leg. At the same time here, we're giving a stretch to our toes that we walk on every day. Some of us are still wearing heels going to work. Here, even in this position, try to bring some length to your back, flexing your right foot. Inhale through your nose, filling up your chest with air, feeling your rib cage expand, and then slowly exhale out of your mouth. Slowly grab your blocks or bring your hands to the floor and slowly walk yourself back forward. Here, what we're going to do is bring our hands to the ground and then swing your right leg behind you. Here you can move, do the cat-cow position, bring some movement to your back, come into a downward facing dog, move as you need, and then reset up so that you have your pillow underneath your right knee here, or some kind of blanket. And then slowly bring your left leg forward, checking that your knee is right over your ankle. You can set up similarly with your blocks or no blocks and bring your hands to your side. Here, hinge your back foot. For me, it's my right foot, so I'm hinging my back foot just to pull my leg back a little bit more, to give more of a stretch to the inside of my right inner thigh, inner hip area. Here, just adjust your position so that your knee is over your ankle. And then bring some length to your back, checking that your neck is not sinking into your shoulders, but that you're rotating your shoulders backwards and imagining your head is being pulled towards the ceiling. Here you can have your weight on the blocks, on your thighs, your front thigh, you can have both hands. Or if you like, you can modify and just stack your blocks one on top of the other, or grab on something in front of you, and then slowly lower yourself onto these blocks. So come into a position that's comfortable for yourself. Coming lower, you'll start to feel more of a stretch into the leg that's propped up. So here I'm feeling it more on the inside of my left leg. Even if you're leaning down, try not to curve and try not to fall into the position and collapse, but to keep some alignment, being mindful of your neck and how you're holding yourself. Inhale here through your nose, and then slowly exhale out of your mouth. Bring your attention to your breathing. Maybe just the tiny details of the sensation of the air coming into and out of your nostrils, just the little air that you feel there. Here, if you're in the lower position, just come back up, slowly pushing into your hands, remodify, reposition your blocks. And then those of you who have your hands on your thigh, just bring your hands down to the ground or onto your blocks if you have. And then slowly tuck your right foot and slowly start to walk yourself back with your blocks or with your hands on the ground. Here, you're placing some weight on your toes, your right toes here. And if you like, you can just hold yourself up here on your blocks or bring your block behind you and sit on the block, readjusting and knowing that we won't be holding this position too long. And at the same time, we're giving a nice stretch to our right toes. When you initially start stretching out your toes, it's painful, but it does some good to us. Here, flex your foot on your left side, giving a stretch to your leg. Even here in this position, be mindful of your posture, elongate your back. We'll take one more breath here. And then slowly grab the block from behind you if you're sitting on it. And then slowly walk yourself back to the front. Here, putting your blocks on the side, bringing your hands to the ground, and swinging your foot back behind you. Here, you can move your pillows to the side, the one that was underneath your knees. And here, moving your shoulders, moving your spine as needed, maybe coming into a downward facing dog, pushing into your hands and feet, bringing your hips into the air. You might push more into your hands, feeling the stretch in the back of your legs, or you can pedal out your legs. When you're in the downward facing dog, the idea is not to have, you don't need to have your heels touching the ground directly. So here it's just having the back elongated, having your hips in the air. If this position is not very comfortable, you can always try bringing your hands more to the side and fanning out your finger. And then slowly come down onto your knees. So what we'll be doing here is turning back onto our back, lying onto our back, and just bring your blocks so that they're near you. You have access. If you like, you can even place a pillow here for your head. Then slowly turn onto your back, on your bum, and lower yourself onto your back. In this position here, you can tuck your shoulders behind you, flattening your shoulder blades on the ground. It might feel good to bring your knees into your chest. Just rock yourself side to side. And then slowly bring your feet back to the ground. Here, grab a block, lift your hips up, and slowly place the block underneath your hips. So underneath your pelvis, your sacrum. To check if you are placing the block in the right place, lift your feet up. You can have your feet come towards the ceiling, stretching your legs out, maybe doing some rotations with your feet, just to check that your back is not pinching. If it's pinching, reposition the block so it's underneath your hips. And then here you can either have your knees toppling inwards, your feet are about mat width apart. This might feel comfortable placing the back of your hands on the ground and the palms are facing upwards. Or you can place your hands on your belly. Or you might want to stretch out your legs here over the lower block. And just stay here, closing your eyes. If you have something to cover your eyes here, maybe a little towel or a blanket, you can use it. Otherwise, if you like, you can also come up to a higher level. So coming up onto your tippy toes, grab your second block and lift your hips up. Place your second block underneath your hips, or you can even flip your first block onto a higher level. Here, check that you're in the right place, readjusting, lifting your feet up, checking that there is no pain. And here, just tuck your shoulders behind you. You can place your hand on your belly, just to help you ground yourself here, bringing your attention to your breath, noticing your breath and how your belly rises and falls with every breath you take. In these slower types of yoga, in the Yin Yoga, restorative yogas, the mind has a tendency to wander. And if that's what's happening for you today, try to come back to the breath, or even to the contact points of your body on the ground. That might be just going through your body here and noticing the feeling of the ground underneath your feet, the sensation of the block or books, the support system underneath your hips, how the ground is supporting your shoulders and shoulder blades, and the sensation of this pillow or the ground underneath your head. You might count your breath if your mind goes around. So as you inhale and you say inhale 1. And as you exhale, you count exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Until you lose count, and then you start again. We'll hold this position for a few moments. So notice if you're holding any tension in your face that's not necessary, or you're holding any muscles that are not needed right now. Maybe if your legs are uncomfortable here, you might want to put a pillow between your knees just to have them be able to topple inward. Or if you're comfortable here, just remain in this position, bringing your attention to your breath. There's a concept that we say often that's, when you are having a bad day, or you wake up the next day and you think, okay, well, tomorrow's a new day. It'll be different tomorrow. And the same concept, the same start a new page, turn the new page, you can apply to every breath you take. So with every inhale, you take it as an opportunity to exhale and let something go. So every breath is an opportunity to let go of something and to make the next moment different than the moment that you had before. So here, as you hold this position, as you inhale, imagine fresh opportunities, fresh ideas coming in. And then as you exhale, letting go of things that are not serving you right now, thoughts, ideas, preoccupations, anything that's going on, just let it go with every exhale. if you have your eyes covered, just remove the covering. And then slowly start to open your eyes. And then slowly come onto your tippy toes to remove the top block or to lower your first block onto the lower level. Placing your block on the side, lowering your hips slowly onto the lower block. Here, your feet are still underneath your knees. Taking a moment here, just letting the body reset a little bit. Coming back to your breath. And then slowly lift your hips once again, removing the first block and coming down directly onto the ground. Here, bring your feet about mat width apart, have your knees topple inward. Might feel good to bring your knees into your chest here, grabbing on top of your knees or directly onto your thighs and just rocking yourself side to side. Maybe even doing rotations, so bringing your knees forward and down and around. So the rocking is more in your hip area. Giving a little massage to your hips here. And then going to the other side. If you're going counterclockwise, going clockwise. And then slowly bring your feet back to the ground. What we'll do is come onto the right side or left side into a fetal position, just to help the transition here. And then slowly push into your hands. And what we'll do for our final position is place your blocks or your books if you have. So if you have some blocks, what we'll do is place one on the medium side here for our back. So we'll be putting the block where our rib cage is. So normally it would be where your bra strap is. So it's right in the middle along your spine. And then the other one, a second block here, can be for your head. So you can rest your head on it. Here you can even place a blanket on top of it to make it smoother if you have the block. Or if you like today, this might feel a bit intense, so maybe that's not what you're going for today. So what you can do, if you don't want to work on releasing too much in the back, you can place a bolster similarly, or a lot of pillows, piling the pillows here. And then slowly bringing your bum about a hand away from the pillows block support system that you created. And then slowly start to lower yourself onto the blocks or pillows. You're giving support to your head, positioning yourself as needed here. And here, just doing a slight movement with your hip. So if you're coming down onto the blocks, this might feel very intense initially. So you'll be coming onto your elbows and then releasing slowly onto the block. And you'll notice that your muscles are fighting against these blocks. So just try to consciously release the muscles in your back and let your back release on top of the blocks. Here, you can also, if you're feeling any kind of lower back issue, just lift your hips up slightly and tilt your hips, your pelvis forward. So you're going a little forward here. This motion with your hips and tucking your hips out and then bringing your hips back to the ground. It should release the stress in the lower back. Here, if you position yourself with the blocks, if you like, with any props, whichever props you've decided to use today, you can decide to either stretch out your legs long here in the position, or if you like, you can bring your feet together so they're in a butterfly. And if you have some other props or pillows nearby, you can place them underneath your knees. Just for extra support, so that you're being supported by these blocks and pillows. Here, placing your arms on the ground, palms are facing the ceiling. The other alternative with your legs is that you can bring your feet about mat width apart and your knees are peeping inwards. So come into a position that's comfortable for you, but just ensure that you're feeling supported. Here, even your arms might not feel very comfortable, and if that's the case, you can always place a block underneath your arm for extra support underneath both arms. Here, if you're on the blocks and you're feeling like you're experiencing a bit of an opening, what you can start to do is start to inhale through your nose, inhaling deeply here, feeling your ribcage expand, and then slowly exhaling out of your mouth, feeling your body sink into the blocks a little bit more. We're holding this position for a few moments, so if you have that covering for the eyes, place it on your eyes as we hold this position, or just close your eyes. Bring your attention to your breath. Notice if you're holding your hips up or you're activating your glutes. Try to let go. Let go of any muscles that are being active that don't need to be, even in your face, your jaw. Here, you can stay in this position, or if you like, you can explore the position a bit and start to bring your hands a little bit overhead here. You might even touch the ground with your hands behind your head, or just come bringing your hand onto your forehead, onto your head here, resting. Bringing the blocks, the little bit of pressure more into the upper back and shoulders here. You can even move your body a little bit side to side onto the blocks, rocking yourself slightly on the block. If your hands are overhead, bring your hands to your face, and here, bring a bit of massage and self-care, self-love to yourself here today. Giving a massage to your temples, coming into little circles. Maybe bringing these circles into your hair, into your scalp, giving your head a little bit of attention that it might be needing. Here, if you like, you can start to bring your hands across your eyebrows, so from the inside, between your eyebrows to the outside of your eyebrows, just bringing your fingers across them. Then slowly bringing your hands down, your jaw, doing small circles along your face, into your cheeks, and then coming back to your nose, and through to your temples. You can bring your hands to your neck, maybe giving your neck a little bit of a massage that's needed here. Coming to your shoulders. You can bring your right hand onto your left shoulder and your left hand onto your right shoulder and start to squeeze along your shoulders and your upper arms, coming down towards your elbows, your forearms, coming to your hands. And here at your hands, just giving some attention to your wrists, both wrists, and then coming into your palms, feeling the different muscles of your palms, and then giving attention to each digit. And then here, slowly bring your hands back to the ground, palms facing up. And then lengthen your legs, whichever position your legs are in, just straighten your legs out so they're long. You might stretch out your legs so that they're farther apart. If you're on the blocks, you can slowly start to push into your elbows here. Maybe bringing your hands to your hips and just lift yourself up slowly. Coming onto the side maybe and bringing the blocks out from behind you. If you're on pillows, just roll over, push the pillow from behind you, and then lower yourself back down slowly onto the ground, placing your head on the ground. Maybe placing a pillow underneath your head and maybe a bolster or pillow underneath your knees. Widening your legs. Here, you can even widen your arms, coming more into a star shape, widening out your position so you're a bit of a starfish, taking space here, or just having your arms by your side, palms facing up. Bringing the covering back onto your eyes if it slipped off earlier. Here, bring your attention to your breathing, the movement of your body as you breathe. Notice the contact points of your body on the ground, your heels, your hips, your back, your arms. Coming to the sensation of your arms and your body as it's being held up by the ground. Here, with your eyes closed, just take a moment to look towards the right within your eyes. So here your eyes are closed and you're looking towards the right, giving a little stretch to your eyes, and then go towards the left with your eyes closed, bringing your eyes towards the top and down, just giving some movement to your eyes in your your eye sockets. Bringing your eyes back to the right, back to the left, up and down. And then rest your eyes. At the end of practice, I like to take some time to send out some positive vibes. So that might be even to yourself today, or that you are able to come to class, that you have that ability, that you are able to make some time. So bring some gratitude to yourself, or send out some gratitude and some good positive vibes to someone around you, someone in your family, your friends. Notice your breath here. Not breathing forcefully. I'm just going to read a short story, a little anecdote here for the final few moments. And it's called Two Wolves. And it's about our negative thoughts, how they can create anxiety and anger and resentment and jealousy. Negative thinking is normal. However, if this way of thinking becomes very constant and insistent, it can lead to depression, self-destructive behavior, like addictions, derailing us from what we want most in life. At the minimum, negative thinking takes away our energy and erodes our own self-confidence and can put us in a bad mood. Certainly, many would agree that our thoughts come and go so quickly that it seems impossible to notice them. But with awareness and attitude of self-compassion, we can redirect our negative thoughts to become more positive ones. So the story is that there's an old Cherokee who is teaching his grandson about life. A fight is going on inside me, he said to the boy. It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, ego. He continues. The other one is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, and kindness, generosity, and truth, and faith. The same fight is going on inside you, and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute, and then he asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? And the old Cherokee simply replied, the one that you feed. Our thoughts can be our own worst enemy, that is, if we let them. Think about how you may be feeding your negative thoughts by allowing them to rule your mind. Next time you have a negative thought, catch it and ask yourself, what is this thought doing for me? You will find that the answer is that all they are doing is disempowering you. You can immediately feel more empowered by focusing on something good in your life and cultivating the practice of gratitude. We can create greater peace, confidence, and more positive outlook by learning how to manage our thoughts. After all, this battle can be won because we have the power of choice. So which wolf are you feeding? slowly here, start to bring some wiggle to your toes, wiggle to your fingers. If you have your eyes covered, remove the covering, slowly open your eyes. Take a breath here. And slowly turn over onto your right side or left side into a fetal position, resting your head on a pillow or on your arm. And then slowly push up into your hands, coming back into a seated position. Thank you for joining me today for a 60-minute practice.